This is Into the Podverse with Tony Doe. Podcast innovations, challenges, opportunities, and culture from an African perspective.
Oprah Winfrey's new deal with Amazon is one of the clearest signs yet that podcasting is no longer just audio. It's turning into television again, just wearing a different outfit. Amazon and Harpo Entertainment have signed a multi-year agreement that gives Amazon's Wondery exclusive distribution rights to the Oprah podcast across both audio and video formats. On paper, it sounds like expansion. In practice, it signals a shift in what podcasting is becoming. Starting July, Oprah's show will stream across Prime Video, Amazon Music, Audible, and Fire TV. The podcast will also increase to 2 episodes per week, doubling down on volume as much as visibility. And this is not just about a single show. Amazon also secured rights to the Oprah Winfrey Show archive, along with Oprah's book club and Oprah's favorite things. In other words, the deal is not only about new content, but about owning the past as much as the present. That detail matters. Because podcasting as it was originally built resisted ownership in that way. It was fragmented, open, and largely independent. A creator could build an audience without needing a studio lot, a TV network, or even a global distributor. Now the biggest platforms are rebuilding those structures, only this time inside streaming apps and recommendation algorithms. Amazon is not alone in this movement, but it's one of the most aggressive. By folding video into podcast distribution, the company is essentially redefining the format. Not just something you listen to, but something you also watch. That brings it closer to traditional talk shows than the original podcasting ethos of intimacy and invisibility. There's a logic to it, of course. Video drives engagement. Engagement drives ads. Ads drive skill. The economics are familiar, even if the medium is being rebranded. Still, something is being lost in translation. Audio once gave audiences freedom. You could listen while walking, cooking, commuting, or simply thinking. It did not ask for your full attention, only your presence. Video asks for more. It asks you to sit still. So the question is no longer whether podcasting is growing. It clearly is. We can see that. The question now is, what is it growing into? A podcast used to feel like a conversation you were a part of, but could never be seen in. Now it increasingly feels like a stage. And Oprah, perhaps the most influential conversationalist of the television era, may have just helped close the circle. Podcasting has spent the last decade trying to prove it belongs. The irony is that in finally being accepted, it may be losing the very qualities that made it worth accepting in the first place. At its core, podcasting was never just audio content. It was independence. It was the rebellion against gatekeepers. Anyone with a microphone, an idea, and a bit of nerve could build something meaningful. No commissioning editor, no broadcast schedule, no need to sound like anyone else. The rough edges were not flaws, they were proof of life. Now as the medium leans into the mainstream, the incentives are shifting. Big platforms want scale. Brands want safety. Algorithms want consistency. And suddenly, podcasting starts to look suspiciously like the industries it once disrupted. You can hear it in the production choices. Shows are tighter, cleaner, more professional. It sounds like progress until everything begins to sound the same. The pauses disappear, the risk-taking fades, the host becomes a presenter, the audience becomes a metric. The question is not whether growth is good. It is. It's fantastic. More listeners, more money, more legitimacy all matter. But growth always comes with gravity. It pulls things towards the center, and the center by definition is safe. What gets lost in that pull is identity. Podcasting starts to blur into content. A word so broad it means almost nothing. Once that happens, it stops setting its own rules and starts borrowing from others. Radio's polish, TV spacing, social media's obsession with virality. In trying to be everything, it risks becoming indistinguishable. And yet, there's a countercurrent worth paying attention to. The most compelling podcasts today often feel like a throwback. Looser conversations, niche topics, hosts who sound like themselves rather than a format. They're not chasing the mainstream, they're building their own lanes within it. That might be the real future of podcasting. Not full assimilation, but tension. A split identity. One side optimized for scale and sponsorship, the other for depth and distinct voice. The danger is not that podcasting becomes mainstream. The danger is that it forgets what made it different while doing so. Because if podcasting becomes just another arm of the content machine, then has it really evolved? No, it has surrendered. And for a medium born out of independence, that would be the most ironic ending of all. If you're building a podcast and trying to keep things simple from day one, RSS.com does more heavy lifting than most podcast platforms admit. And the good thing is you can even start for free. So it's your hosting, distribution, and analytics in one place. You're not juggling tools just to stay on air. And for creators thinking beyond just publishing, especially in markets where payment systems can get unpredictable, it keeps your shows structured in a way that can actually support monetization when you're ready, without forcing you to rebuild later. You focus on the content, RSS.com handles the infrastructure. This episode contains an affiliate link. If you choose to sign up through it, I may earn a small commission at no extra cost to you. It helps support the work that goes into producing this show. Tool of the week, and this one proves podcasting marketing doesn't always have to be serious. Meet PodBirth by Riverside. It's a tool that literally gives your podcast a birth certificate.
What?
PodBirth is a fun promotional tool that lets creators generate a personalized certificate for their show, treating your podcast launch like the arrival of a newborn, because apparently your RSS feed is now family. It's clever, cheeky, and built for sharing, especially across social media where standing out matters. For new podcasters, it's a playful way to announce a launch. For existing creators, it's a branded flex. And for Riverside, I think it's smart marketing, giving podcasters something entertaining while keeping the brand front and center.
That's it for this episode. Subscribe, share, and connect at Tony Doe Media. See you in the Podverse.